Live in a constant state of fear and misery.
Alrighty then. It's time for the clown show for the Wawas. Oh my god, I hate not being able to play copyrighted music. All right, so Craig's big day in court came, and there are 3 different people who actually went there specifically to give us a take on things. 22nd Century Crypto on Twitter, Carolina Bellata, and Katie Ananina. I don't know how to pronounce that. And there were also a few other people trying to live tweet, although I think their phones were confiscated and some of those tweets disappeared. But pretty much the gist is, first off, the first thing he did was say that he just can't get the information, the public addresses the judge was requesting, and that they wouldn't give the plaintiff anything relevant anyway. And from some accounts, he actually went so far during this part of the court hearing that he claimed that public addresses don't exist on my Bitcoin. So yeah, he's trying to play games with public key versus address and them not existing or anything. But the long and short of it, he's dancing around and trying to bullshit the judge that he can't tell you what the coins in question are locked to in terms of cryptographic keys, which is horseshit. He then went on a long tirade about how he wanted to create a cryptocurrency that didn't fall to crime, and that some of the other people he made Bitcoin with went on to make Silk Road and Hydra, a super evil darknet market specifically for drugs, weapons, and child porn that didn't actually exist because Craig made it up to come up with some insane sob story. During which he also changed, if my memory is correct, big details of his Satoshi story, because the story, I believe, was him and Kleiman actually created it. Now it's he created it with some other people, and they all made a child porn market, and so then he met Kleiman, and they started doing Bitcoin things together. And he actually broke down crying, like literally held in his lawyer's arms after getting off the stand crying. After this, there was a break and the cross-examination began. And this got really hilarious. Apparently, when Kleiman's lawyer showed him a printout of the forged email that Craig withdrew, he said that the lawyer is trying to mislead the court and started playing games about it not being an email. It's a PDF of an email and other nonsense. And eventually just started saying for a lot of the things he himself submitted as evidence to the court that he didn't recognize that document when Kleiman's lawyer showed it to him, to the point where he literally grabbed a document and threw it at Kleiman's lawyer and had the judge threaten him with immediate arrest if he did that ever again in his courtroom.
I wish.
Yeah. But
this
then,
is not a white paper. It's a PDF of a white paper.
But then they finally got around to the key storage. And he claims that the keys in question were split up into slices. So a Shamir splitting secret requiring 8 of 15 slices in the right order to access the trust. Well, you don't need any specific order if you have enough slices in a Chimère split key. That's not how that works. And then he claimed that they're all split around, and a lot of the people who hold them, he doesn't know them. But if Dave did things right, he gave them to a bonded courier who will show up in 2020 and give me the key slices. Which is some nonsense he's never informed the judge of until the day in court 2 days ago. And during all of this stretching over the time limit, not a single expert witness from either side was actually able to testify in court on the 28th. And so they're going to have to set up another hearing to actually go through expert witness testimony so the judge can try and sift through some of this shit. But yeah, the House of Cards is collapsing on itself rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And this is getting big enough to where, yeah, you like there were some people on Twitter I wasn't following, but I'm following now, where it's like, they're at the courtroom, they're tweeting out what's going on. And yeah, it's real interesting to hear. I would love to see some video footage if there was, like, maybe even one of those drawings of the courtroom where, Faketoshi's on the stand just crying about how they've misused my Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's things are not going well. His temper tantrum and throwing things strategy isn't working well in the judge in court.
Yeah, I would really, really like to see him throw a couple more papers and get held in contempt or something like that. I'm really surprised he even showed up for court, because there was a talk about how he was avoiding it, but I guess he finally made it down there or up there from his position. And yeah, he's starting to face the music, and it looks like this judge isn't going to deal with any of that stuff.
Well, yeah, he's literally just trying to pull his con strategy inside a courtroom. Just bullshit, excuse, sob story, government good. And he's finding that doesn't really work in court. Like with his law degree, he seems to have a very poor understanding of legal proceedings.
Can you imagine how miserable it must be in Florida right now? Because on top of it being Florida, you also have this heat wave going on, and then you have all of the hot air that Craig Wright just brought. Like, it must be miserable in that state right now.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, those reptiles will love it, though.
Yep. So, I think that this court case is probably going to be the unraveling of Craig Wright. Like, he's pushed this about as far as he can, and everything is about to tumble down on his head.
Yeah, man. Do you think he'll get like some sort of countersuit put against him because of all this, or like some sort of perjury charge?
It's very, very likely. I mean, there's, even if these Bitcoin don't exist, there's still the fraud with the company that Kleiman owned. So he could still get hit with damages, even if it's like this all falls apart. And there's effectively a ruling by the court that the proof of him being Satoshi is not enough.
Wonder what Kevin Pham and all those guys are going to do then. I think I saw Kevin tweeting about how, like, real men cry. Okay.
Yes,